Yo, what is up guys? It's the Goblin and welcome back to another Call of Duty video. So like I said, I'm making videos on older Call of Duties and talking about how I feel about them at the current moment because opinions do change, and of course looking back at a game, it looks a lot different than it did in the actual life cycle or when the game was super duper active. So I've been doing this a little bit leading up as sort of a mini series up until Black Ops 4. I did Black Ops 3 already, I did World War 2. You guys seem to be enjoying it, and I really do appreciate you guys who have been enjoying and supporting the videos. Like I said, I'm trying to ramp the channel and the production up because when Black Ops 4 comes out, I'm going to be very excited for the content I'm going to be pumping. So I really do appreciate you guys supporting me and, you know, watching these videos, listening to my opinions, leaving your opinions in the comment section down below. I've been reading your comments. You guys have had some good opinions on the past games. So if you guys could drop a like, let's go for 1,000 likes. I know it is kind of bold, but I would appreciate if we could smack 1,000 likes or somewhere near there. It would be absolutely amazing. And I appreciate your guys' support. So Infinite Warfare, let's talk about it. Now, usually when I look back on older games, and I've done this with the past couple of videos, I look at the main three things, and I also talk about, you know, other things that matter with the game, cosmetics, blah, 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 DLC, stuff like that. So the main three that I always go to are maps, score streaks, and weapons. And I think those three things are the core of making a good Call of Duty game. If you look at any COD that you enjoyed, those things were pretty good. And I have a list of them actually up here on my other monitor, which will be great, so we can actually address them as I go through and talk about it. So it's going to be a great video, and I'm excited to talk about it. So let's get started with the weapons. Now, honestly, this game I thought, okay, first of all, my first impressions thinking back to this game is that this game was better than people gave it credit for, but the fact that as soon as it was announced that it was, you know, advanced movement, immediately the hate was there for this game, and I honestly think that after that, there's basically no coming back. This game did a lot of things right, but after the sloppy release, which if you guys don't remember, there was a release with basically no combat record, you know, it was a sloppy release, just like World War II, where a bunch of stuff was just incomplete, and this was actually the first time we got that, which was kind of, you know, lame or disappointing, I would say, based off the release. But I think that, you know, that based off the release and those first impressions, based off the infinite movement or advanced movement, whatever, on Infinite Warfare, I think that really put this game in a huge dug himself a huge hole that it had to build its way out of, and it did a decent job at it, but it didn't complete the job all the way. So first I gotta say, Infinite Warfare was a clever name, especially with Infinity Ward making the game, so props on that in the marketing. I thought it was pretty good with that. Now, looking back at the maps, this game was like a lot of Call of Duty games. The maps were sort of either really good or really bad. Like, look, I'm looking back and I'm looking at some of the good maps here. Scorch was a fire map. Frontier was a pretty decent map. Precinct was amazing. Frost was amazing. Throwback was amazing. Skydock, Mayday was amazing. Genesis was amazing. So it had a majority good maps. There was a couple maps that weren't the best looking back on it. Grounded actually wasn't even that bad. I did enjoy Grounded a decent amount. Retaliation was, I'd say, average. Crusher and Breakout. Those two were probably the weakest maps on this whole thing. And then, of course, you have Terminal, which was coming back, and obviously people love Terminal as well. So for the maps, honestly, they're better than you would think looking back. I would honestly give this game an 8 out of 10 on the maps, which is pretty good considering it's Infinite Warfare. I think the maps are actually really enjoyable, and I thought this game was a fun, fast-paced game to play. Next, going into weapons. Now, with weapons and the way they did the variants, this is where it kind of got funky again. Personally, I thought that it was cool. You know, having variants is cool and different stuff like that. But these variants did actually give you quite a bit of advantage. And that's where the whole debate came out of, was this game pay to win? Different stuff like that. Well, that is sort of true. You can pay to get advantages if I buy 1,000 supply drops and you buy 0, I'm going to have the advantage off you based off the start. Of course, it's a minuscule advantage, but that still is in an aspect, you know, pay to win, I guess you could say. But at the same time, you could actually earn everything by actually playing the game. So a lot of people just played the game, and I know there was one guy, I stopped to his live stream maybe like a year or two ago, right? And I said he had every variant, everything in the game, and I said, how much did you spend to get that? And he told me he didn't spend a dime, but he played like all day, every single day. So that was a cool aspect of it, and that's what I would say there. So as far as the weapons variants, all that sort of stuff, they were pretty decent in this game. The weapon balance was all right, but it was nothing spectacular. I would say probably about a 6.5 out of 10 for the weapons. They were fun to use, but a bunch of them just felt, they didn't really express themselves. Like, and that's sort of weird to say, like the P90 does, like the Kuda does. Those are sort of monumental intervention, Barrett 50 cal, monumental guns in the game. The ERAD, you know, looking back at that, that's not really a monumental gun in the history. At the time it was, you know, looking back, those guns didn't mean as much, and that's why I give it a 6.5. They were still fun to use in the moment, and I really did enjoy them. Next is score streaks. That's the next thing I talk about, and kill streaks, score streaks. Very disappointed in this game. Another thing that I thought was really whack. Honestly, I thought this game was really, like, easy to... Honestly, you could go into TDM, right? and you could tear people up. I mean, these gameplays that you're watching, of course, these are older gameplays from Infinite Warfare, and these are like 50 kills and like 5 deaths, something like that. One of these gameplays, I think maybe both of them too. You could do this consistently in TDM. It was fairly easy, but you couldn't really capitalize with the score streaks. The score streaks in this game were very, very weak, and then it was similar to World War II. It took them a while. They added score streak variants. They got a little bit better there because you had the advanced UAV turn into the hater. The Warden was a little bit stronger, but usually you would just run like UAV, Warden, and then advanced UAV upgraded to the hater. There was no chopper gunner, dogs, or swarm or anything like that, and that was something that, honestly, kill streaks, it's weird because Infinity Ward, I think there was a whole 180 with Infinity Ward, right? Because if you think about it, okay, Call of Duty 4 first introduced kill streaks, so we don't really talk about that, and they were still pretty strong in that game, right? Everything was strong. Modern Warfare 2, strongest kill streaks in the history of Call of Duty, probably. Modern Warfare 3, super strong streaks, you know, more balanced, but still super strong. I would compare, like, Modern Warfare 2 streaks to BO2 streaks. Those are, like, the most overpowered, and then, like, BO3s to MW3s. They're still great. But then after that, I think they were getting some hate for how good the kill streaks were. Ghost kill streaks were absolute garbage, except for the fact that there was the Specialist, which was absolutely awesome, of course, because Specialist, MW3. If you know anything about the Goblin, I'm a fan of MW3. But yeah, their kill streaks game has been really weak with Infinity Ward, and hopefully they fix that for their next game. If it's going to be Modern Warfare 4, which I'm hoping it is, and praying that it is MW4, that's what we really need for the Call of Duty franchise. As a fan of this game, and someone that's been a fan for so damn long, we need Modern Warfare 4, and we need to be done right. But yeah, I think this game took, definitely took an L with the kill streaks there. But the core gameplay of this game was fun. It was enjoyable. It was a game you could hop on, you could pub stomp. As far as a competitive aspect, I never really got into the competitive aspect, so I wouldn't be able to touch on that. The only games where I really played competitive, not even seriously, but like played a lot with my friends, it's usually a friend thing, you know. It wasn't like I was looking for the best 4 or me and then 3 other players at the time. I wasn't looking for the best 3 other players to play with. I was just like, yo, my friends, you want to hop on, play some games? And that's what's pretty fun on UMGs, what we would do. It's like game battles, right? UMG. But anyway, yeah, I never played on this game. I was into Ghost and Black Ops 3 for competitive. This game, I felt like it was a good game for a casual player and something cool like that. But there's other things to talk about. There was the rigs, or which basically whatever they were called, the Specialist from Black Ops 3, the copy of those, which I thought, I mean, it was obviously a direct copy based off the success of Black Ops 3. Did I think those were cool? I mean, they were okay. They were definitely, they weren't bad, and we're obviously seeing that back in Black Ops 4. That's a theme that is making a game like Call of Duty more, and I say this very, very skeptical, more into an Overwatch League of Legends where your champion matters, which would your champion would be your rig or your Specialist or your combat rig, whatever it's called, right? Obviously, it's not that extreme at all, but I think this game tried to take a lot of steps forward, but they really did forget about that core gameplay aspect and just making sure kill streaks are good, making sure guns are fun. And that may sound stupid, but that's a real thing, dude. Like MW3, when I think MW3 P90, I think of fun. When I think of the NV4, I do think of fun on Infinite Warfare, but that's about it. The NV4 was like the ACR. That gun was an absolute monster. Another thing about this game was it was easy to play. I mean, aside from the movement, which takes a little bit to get used to, the guns are all laser beams, and that's something that this Call of Duty, right? Pretty much all the time, but in this game, it was exceptional of how fast the guns would absolutely melt people and different things like that. I did enjoy the supply drop system. I mean, I personally liked it as a YouTuber. Did I think it was friendly for the fans? Absolutely not. I think the best supply drop system we've had that was friendly for the fans is Modern Warfare Remastered and then World War II. With Infinite Warfare, it was a little bit better, and then Black Ops 3. Honestly, I mean, I love the supply drop system in Black Ops 3, but if I'm talking about at a fairness level, Black Ops 3 was probably the worst because it was completely RNG. You know, in other games, there were other ways to earn credits to buy stuff, different stuff like that. In Black Ops 3, when you would earn credits, you would use those credits to buy more supply drops, and it would sort of be random, you know? But I really did, obviously, Black Ops 3, I would say, had the most unfair, supply drop system, but had the best DLC. So that's what I would say there. Anyway, this isn't about Black Ops 3. You can check that video I uploaded yesterday if you want to talk about that. My overall rating on Infinite Warfare is this game was good, and if this had been boots on the ground and they had actually taken their time and like if they just changed this game, hypothetically, they changed this and called this Modern Warfare 4, made it boots on the ground, added great kill streaks, changed the supply drop system a little bit, I think this game could have been a hit. I honestly think it was a missed opportunity, and first impressions are very important, and I think that left a big negative thing on this game. Do I think this is the best Call of Duty ever? No, but I still think it's a good game, and I think it's better than other Call of Duty games out there. I really do. I definitely don't think this is the worst COD, and I think that this is one that was fun to play, but it was a more casual pub stomping sort of approach. Thanks for watching, guys. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Let me know which other game you want to see me talk about. There's still so many older games I haven't talked about yet. Down in the comment section down below. I've done World War II, BO3, and Infinite Warfare. So let me know any other older ones you want me to talk about, and drop a like, subscribe, and I'm out. Peace. Hype for Black Ops 4.